everybody, welcome to The Whole Bucket. I'm Cheryl, and this video is going to be about day 22 of Defemorember, your daily dose of ephemera inspiration in December. Today's prompts gave me quite a hassle because water and envelope insert, I just wasn't sure at all what to do. And then, as you may know, if you've seen my other Defemorember videos, my cat dumped water all over my desk and ruined a bunch of my papers, and some of my papers just got more interesting, so I didn't mind that. But it gave me an idea for today. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set the prompt list aside, and, oh, there's a hint. There's a hint. I got a tub. I have some colors. I have a stencil. But first, we have to get some tea steeping for our tea and cookies break. And this is my English tea shop advent calendar of tea. And today is, they don't stand up anymore. There's not enough. Let's see if we can do, I really don't need to be doing box adjustment on camera, do I? But I am. Silly girl. I mean, that is why it's called The Whole Bucket after all, because I just share everything. Just everything. Just life and tea and art and cats and what have you. Oh, coffee cocoa. I didn't like this one. I'm sad. I'm going to give it a second try. I didn't like this one. Is this the one I said tasted like dirt? I wonder if it is. We're going to find out shortly here. So there are some repeats in there. Not very many, really, considering it's the whole 25 days worth, right? But not bad. I mean, there had to be some repeats, I guess, but yeah, they did pretty good at curating that box. Okay, so we have coffee cocoa tea steeping, and we're going to get right into today's project because I think this is going to take a while, and I have other things to do. I'm going to use this stencil. I'm going to use my paper that my cat already put water on and gave me this idea, right? And we're going to use a seahorse. And yes, I cheated. I looked at the animals and got a water animal for today because it was just boggling my brain what to do. There's only two water animals. There's a fish and a seahorse. I don't know where the fish is, but it's still in there somewhere because I haven't seen it yet. I also have a homeless flamingo, so that could be water-based too, really. And I don't know why I ended up with the leftover flamingo, but there had to be a project where I just forgot to use my animal or something. In any case, here's what we're going to do to start this project. I'm going to take my stencil and just tuck it inside this paper. We'll set the ink aside because we don't need it just yet. But all I'm going to do is wet this paper and let it sit. My cat's freaking out. I'm not sure why, but cats do not like the spray sound of it. I mean, I found that in a lot of cats. I suppose it sounds similar to kissing, maybe? When cats hiss at each other. It's just an unfriendly sound to them, I suppose. Okay, now I gotta spray this side. So the reason I'm doing this is I had, let's see if it's still here, or did I put it away? Looks like I put it away already, but I had some little leftover, lace scraps under my paper. So I had a pile of stuff that I had set aside to use for these Defemorember projects when my cat spilled the water. And what I found was that the paper that I had printed is not permanent. The ink is not permanent, and the colors separated, and the lace that it was sitting on left a pattern in the colors and on the paper. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen here. I mean, you can see that the colors are separating for sure. I don't know if I'm going to get that the pattern of that stencil at all, but I wanted to give it a try. So the lace is obviously bumpier, and it's fabric, so it's going to hold some water, and the more texture might be why it ended up leaving a pattern on the paper. I'm not sure, but I thought getting this nice and wet and trying it with the stencil was worth a shot. So that's what we're going to do right there. We're just going to leave the reaction happen. And I'm not going to sit here with you the whole time. I will pause for a large chunk of this. I will watch a Muppet Christmas Carol. And when the Muppet Christmas Carol is done, I will come back with a report on if I liked coffee cocoa tea. And I may have my cookies during that too. And then this should be ready to move on, to move forward with. All right, I will be back. Alrighty, hey there, I am back. I have watched the Muppet Christmas Carol. I drank some coffee cocoa tea, and I still do not care for it, although it didn't taste like dirt. So if it is the one that I called dirt tasting last time, I did not have the same sensation this time. But I don't like coffee cocoa tea. I just don't. So I have some things ready. The paper did not work the way I did it, so I added some color to it, and I left the stencil in there, and then took I took my ink and just went like this and added more water, and this is what I got. And then I cut out my seahorse, and then I decided I wanted to make him all fancy fins. So I cut him some new fins, and we're going to put him on a card like so. And this fin up here on top, we're just going to cover up. There we go. So he's going to have some fancy fins, and I'm going to do a little detailing on this guy before we do any of that. So what I want to do first is color his eye bigger, because I like, you know, big puppy eyes. I don't know why I'd want puppy eyes on my seahorse, but apparently I do, because I'm giving him a puppy eye. And then there are some gold details in this guy. So I think if I follow some of these gold details around his face, right here, with my gold pen, and then let that dry, and then follow that same line with a really thin black pen. Maybe I'll find a smaller one than this, but I think if I do that, like here, he's got a bunch of gold in his spikes. I think we're gonna, I think he's gonna show up a lot better, and some dimension will show up in him better. So yeah, we're just accenting the accents on this guy. He's got some gold on his nose. And he's got some gold around his eye. And I'm just going to exaggerate that. And then, yeah, let's let that dry. Whee! Shouldn't take too long. Let's put a white dot on his eyeball. Make sure this is... We want to make him a little sparkle. Oh, this isn't a white pen, is it? This is a glaze pen. It is. It's glaze. Okay, so we'll glaze his whole eye so we can see that his eyes are shiny and he's a healthy seahorse. And then I'll find a white and we'll still give him that extra sparkle as well. Okay, he is now a healthy seahorse. And I'm going to grab what? I want a thinner marker, a thinner black, like this one, and then we need a white. I believe it is not white either. Is this one white? This is another glaze. Goodness sakes, where is my white jelly roll? Here it is. I think this is my white jelly roll. We'll let that glaze dry a little longer, but let's do a black circle around the gold circle. And then I'm going to do a black line behind this gold line. And then I think I'll do these, like that one right there, and then this one right here. I don't know what you'd call these, but they segment his body, right? And then a lot of these are going to get covered up by this big fin, but I'm going to put some of this black under some of the gold I did so that the gold kind of pops a little bit. And then if this is in fact the white and I can get it to work, oh, look at him. He's looking so fancy. This is exactly what I wanted. Just bringing out the details in this guy. Let's bring out some of the details in this guy's nose. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get the white to work. Are you gonna work? You know what it's hard to do? It is hard to tell if white pen is working when you're checking it on white paper. That's what's hard to do. Very, very little. Look at how faint that is. Let's see what we can do though. If I go kind of slow, more of the jelly roll ink comes out. It's more of a application thing than a drawing thing with jelly roll. All right, let's try this eye dot. There we go. We got a nice eye dot. Look at that, guys. And I got some jelly roll white on some lines and some dots for this guy. He is looking fancy. All dressed up for the party. We might add some more details, I don't know, but let's set all of this stuff aside for a minute. And we'll set this guy and his fancy fins to be right up there. And I will pull this out. So in the journal I've been using for Defemmerimber, I have this envelope that we made on Leaves and Envelope Day. Excuse me. And we don't have anything in it. So I thought, since today is water and envelope insert, I thought we would make a card to put in here. So we need a card that is about, is that 5 3/4? Let's do it 5 3/4 by okay, well, good grief, man, by 4 1/4. I'm gonna write that down quick because I'm gonna forget that. So 5 3/4 by 4 1/4, and 4 1/4 by 2 is 8 1/2. Well, that sure makes things easy, because this just happens to be 8 1/2 wide paper, and so we just need to cut a piece of it that is 5 3/4 inches. And again, I'm going to do it on a trimmer that only goes to 5. Okay, let's mark where 5 3/4 is. That's too funny. All right. Let's just see where 5 3/4 is. It's right here. And let's mark it. Not with a glaze pen, with a jelly roll. Look at all the stuff I'm getting everywhere. What a mess. All right, we'll cut it right there, and then we'll just fold it in half. And wow, that was easy. Ready? Let's see how this goes. All right, bring the book back. Let's bring the book back. Oops. This way. Let's see how that works. Well, it doesn't work great because this vellum is very brittle and it's cracking and it's tearing, but I can fix that. And I like the size because it gives your fingers space to pull that out. Okay, that's good. That's good. So there's the card. Let's grab the corner rounder and round the corners on this, and I think I will use the medium. This is a solid core cardstock. Look at that. How nice. Whoops, 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 whoops. Don't do that, lady. Okay. Now what? Now I need a piece of this. First things first, let's trim it at the bottom so we can see where we want to start. So I'm trimming it at the bottom of the, shoot. Okay, I'm trimming it at the bottom of the stencil mark so that I get a, a starting point. And then I can measure and look. So if that's the bottom, where do I want the picture? I think I want it all the way over, because I really like how it's really green over here and then shifts to blue and then shifts to purple. I like that. So I think this is going to go all the way over. And let's mark it right there. We're going to chop it right there and right there. I can't see that at all. I can't see that at all. It's the glaze. What a goofball. What a goofball. Here, I bet I can see gold. Can I see gold? I can. Look at that. All right, so I'm just going to go a little inside each of those lines because I actually want it smaller, right? I want it to set in on the card. We want a little bit of matting action going on, so I'll just go like that. I'm guesstimating, right? No fanciness here. No fancy measuring, just guesstimating. I want a certain size mat, and I'm just doing it about double of that. And then let's see what we get. I'm going to have to round the corners. Well, first we got it way too tall. And it could use a little more on the sides even. So, let's chop. Let's chop a section off the top. Just like that. And I think this side, I think I'm going to keep most of it, but I can get it a little more, yeah, a little nicer looking. Now let's see what we got. Ooh, now we're looking good. Round some corners. Use the middle size. Okay. There we go. That's going to go on the card. I am going to do what I always do and outline this. Just the cut edge in this case. Well, unless I, you know, accidentally go in all over the place. Now I did up there too. Careful is not my forte. Careful and patient are both things I'm not particularly talented at. You know what it makes me do though? It makes me think of ways to fix mistakes. So, we gotta fix these. We gotta fix these without messing up the most of the paper. So let's see if I can just soften them a bit. That one doesn't want to soften. That one does though. That's good. And then I got a little one over here. Just try to soften it a bit. That's softened. Oh, no, this one kind of is. Okay, that is good enough for me. So we're going to glue this on now. I'm going to have to be careful because, again, I'm not a particularly careful or patient person, and I just got this paper wet. So you know what that means? That means it's going to be super delicate. Goofball. But I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry, so okay, here we go. All right. Okay. All right, there we go. Set that guy aside. Bring over the seed, water, and plants and stuff. Scratch it so it gets wrecked right there. It's fine. I'll fix it later. This is too exact, so I'm going to try to mess this up some more. spread out. Let's see. No exact lines, guys. Okay. I don't know. It's not really behaving the way I want it to, but that's because it's unfinished paper. It's just plain old copy paper, so it's not going to behave like if I had gesso or I had regular, or I had some kind of treated paper or whatever. Whatever. Okay, so let's put our seahorse over here. Yeah, kind of off to the side a little bit. Anyway, so I thought I got all of the edges of this guy with gold paint, and it really looks like I didn't. So I'm kind of not liking this cut edge. Here, let's, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to glue him down anyway because I forgot that I am going to use my watercolor pencils to make shadowing for him. And I can just make sure that the shadowing goes right into the edges. And I should be able to cover up those white edges. I want to find out if that's a thing. I want to find out if that's doable because it's important in the future. All right, there we go. We got a seahorse. Let's make him pretty. As soon as I get some of the glue off my hands and into the garbage can. Okay. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have to cut him another fin because, so I got that one right there. And this one goes up here. And this little tiny one is for right here where this, whoops, where this little fin on his face is, right behind his gills. Right? But I have more because I didn't use them all the pieces that I used. And would it look cool if I used another piece of this wing to give him a frill on his head? I think he might need a frill on his head. Bear with me a second. Yeah, whatever. I was looking for a piece that I already cut off and could use, but I can't find it. So we'll just use this. Don't want to waste butterfly parts anyway, right? Use the butterfly parts. All right, so what do we think about giving him, oh man, okay, what do we think about giving him some extra frill up there? Let me take a look in the screen. Look how dirty my mat is. I stained it with coffee so badly. I don't think it will ever recover. Although today's the day I'm going to tear this studio down and I will bleach this thing and see if I can get the coffee stains out. Oh my. Oh my. If I can't, well, so be it, right? It's an art mat and I'll just have to buy another one. I do have a different size I want to buy, and I want to buy gray because the black is just way too reflective. It just causes so much glare issues. All right, let's see. I think I like it. We're going to adjust some positioning, but I like the concept. So let's start putting these pieces on this guy. And then we'll get some shadowing on here. I want to change this to up here. It just feels better up there, but then, yeah, just do it. Just do it. I'm going to move this up and then see what we end up with. Okay. So, like about here, it just feels better if it's up there to me. Have you ever seen those seahorses that are kind of transparent and they have like tons of fins and they're long and have like tendrils off of them and stuff? I should see if I can find some gold thread. I don't think I have any, but if I did, it would be fun to make tendrils. And then I could cut out some more little tiny things like this and put them at the end of the tendrils. Oh, gosh, that's a good idea. That sounds like fun. It sounds tedious as all get out though, doesn't it? Yikes. Maybe I don't want to do that for an idea book. Maybe I just want to have the idea of the seahorse, and I'll save the fanciness or fancying him up for later. Gosh darn it. You know what I really want? Okay, so here's what I really should have done, and I didn't, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but see how this, he's got kind of a flare right here that connects to his gills. I should have cut that out so I could tuck this piece behind there. I think I can draw it in though. So I think I'm going to do that. Let's get this tucked, or let's get this put down. And he's got this frill on the top of his head, right? And I think, let's find, that one's not fatter, that one's thinner. Let's find one of the fatter micron pens. We'll use a 5. Nope, we'll use an 8. That's even better. And see if we can draw this frill back in. Because he's really just fancier with that frill sticking out. And layering would have been nicer, but drawing it in, I can deal with that too. There, what do we got? All right, there we go. We got one frilly seahorse, and we have another fin for him. He's got another fin to go. We got another fin to go. This one goes down here. Maybe not that far. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. Maybe I don't remember, so I'm just making it up. There we go. Let's leave him like that. Now, let's pull out some watercolor pencils. That's a lovely blue, Prussian blue. Good. I'll just get it wet and draw in some lines to start with. Again, this is not going to behave all cool like it could if this was properly gessoed and or treated paper, or even watercolor paper for that matter. But I think we can get some decent shading for our seahorse buddy. I was really glad to hear Louisa for sure, but I think it might have been Louisa and Barbara, both talking about how Defemorember really has them doing things that they don't ordinarily do. Thinking outside the box. See, that was Barbara. Yep. And I know Louisa said something about doing crazy things she doesn't ordinarily do, and it's so true. And that's part of the look. I'm very well painted. That's part of the beauty of this. Working with prompts that somebody else made up, especially. That's part of the beauty of it, because it really makes you think and do things that maybe you wouldn't have done. And I'm not getting art out of this that's going to be put in an art museum. Or, you know, I'm not getting any quality necessarily, although I did really like a couple of the things I made. But what I am getting is experience in trying things and thinking different ways, and that'll do. That's what I want out of this experience, is that. Now, let's put some highlights in the front of our little guy here. Just cause I wanna. Cause this is, again, this is something I don't ordinarily do. I definitely do this shading with my watercolor pencils, but I don't necessarily pay attention to what side is the light coming from. I just do stuff. I just do some. I would have just done the dark blue all the way around this guy. Okay. I need some more of the dark blue because it didn't get behind his head enough. And it didn't get at the top of his wing either. Well, see, I said wing. I wasn't going to call him a fairy seahorse because I already have my fairy giraffe. I was just going to say he has beautiful fins. Oh, but now I called it a wing. Good grief. Not every animal has to be turned into a fairy, but I like it when they are. All right, let's see if we can get some better movement on this color. It's looking too serious. Let's see if we can loosen it up a little. I'm starting to add so much water that it's rolling up layers of the paper. I'm disintegrating here, people. That's what you get for not using treated papers. All right, I think I'm done. I'm done. For now, because, as I said in an earlier video, I don't have enough finishing type things handy at my desk, which is a thing that I will change when I reset up the studio. I need to have sentiments close by and small snippets close by and the glitter bits close by and that kind of stuff, you know, so that I can finish things completely. So I have a plan to do just that. I'm going to let him dry for just a minute while we find where this guy fell out of. Oh, I know where he fell out of. He has a corner tuck that does not look appropriate for a penguin. So that's in my future fix-it pile. Well, where in the world is it? Where's your spot, Mr. Penguin? Oh, it's right here. Okay. No wonder I couldn't find it. It was in my grubby little paws. He's in his, I just love this. So it says courage, and I just think that this Antarctica thing, this page is not suited for snow and cold and wind and courage. So I'm going to have to do something to change this up. I'm not sure what that'll be. Let's try our seahorse in his new house. There we go. There we go. Now we have a card in the envelope, and we made a very watery, in more than one way, very watery envelope insert in the form of a card, and I am just glued and colored, and this is my favorite way to be. I saw somebody the other day saying, how do I keep my hands clean? Everybody seems to keep their hands clean when they do this. I do not, and I don't apologize for it, because I'm kind of clumsy, and my hands don't always do what they're told, and I'm not going to fuss about it. So this is my favorite way to be. Blue and gluey and other colors. And there we go. All right, that is the end of today's. I like this dark blue in the envelope, backing up the leaves. The leaves are really popping now. And you don't even know that it's an underwater thingy until you pull that out of there. Ah, good job. All right. Thank you for being with me today. I hope that this inspired you to go make some watery envelope inserts of your very own, and maybe use your butterfly pieces in ways you didn't use them before. And I will see you tomorrow for Defemember Day 23rd tomorrow. 23, 24, 25. That's it. Then we're done. Oh my goodness. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.